Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is MegaShadowFist, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. And when we last left off, we were doing a cross-examination. So, without further ado, let's go and continue. Go to slot 2, it looks like. Load this down, yes, please. Before I continue, although before I begin, there's one thing that I want to say. Yes, suppleted. Okay, I get it. Phoenix Edgeworth is not the only person who pointed out the fact that you recall 2 recording sessions ago, I made a comment about how, I was like, why did the judge act so surprised to see Phoenix in case 1 if, he had seen him before already, a few months earlier, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know, Phoenix Edgeworth is not the only person to comment on that. You did too. Okay, I'm sorry. As reparation for that, I will offer my left pinky. Okay? I think that's a fair trade. Do it Yakuza style. Anyway, without further ado, let's going to continue. Gosh darn it. I still have you have to forgive me, I still have a little bit of a cough. It's one of those, coughs that you have after you get sick. It's it gives you, asthma-like symptoms. There's a formal name for it, but I can't remember. Anyway, let's go to continue. So if you hear me coughing randomly throughout the recording session, I apologize. Anyway. But the aquarium guest scream! I heard over the walkie-talkie was more urgent! Oh, okay, I see.
Hold it!
Hold it, please. You heard Mr. Plume scream? That's right! I heard her through the walkie-talkie of a guard making his rounds! Ah! I can still hear it. That sounded like Wendy Oldbag. I can still hear it in my head! It was so loud I thought it was a sea lion! Mr. Plume sort of reminds me of a sea lion, actually. I can sort of see it. I know, right? Oh, I should call her Sea Lion Lady and see how she likes it! I guess Athena's still upset about being called Yellow Girl. What did you do after hearing the visitor scream? I guess I didn't warm up properly or something. I did warm ups. I guess I didn't do them properly because I'm not doing these voices properly. I talked to Norman and Plume first and then went to the pool room with the security guard.
Hold it!
You and the security guard headed to the orca pool room. Yeah, apparently, that obnoxious writer lady said she didn't trust me by myself. That's why, after walking to her, the guard and I went to the pool room together. Why be the one so suspicious? Arr, I demand a swordfish duel. That's what I felt like saying to her anyway. I'm afraid I don't get it. That was a line from the show when Orla and Sasha quarrel with each other. Didn't you do your swashbuckler spectacular homework, Your Honor? Why am I getting scolded here, Mr. Wright? Why are you scolding me? And why am I getting scolded here, Your Honor? Miss Buckler, please tell me what happened after you headed to the pool room. All right. When the guard and I got there, we saw that the equipment was... Excuse me. The equipment was everywhere, and the captain was lying in the middle of it all.
Hold it!
What do you recall about the scene exactly? I don't remember much, but to be honest, I was in total shock from seeing the captain like that. If you ask me something specific, I might be able to remember, though. Okay. Specific questions, huh? Okay, let's see. What should I ask her about? The things scattered around. Could you tell me about the things that were scattered around? They were equipment and props for the new show. New show, huh? The new show? Yeah, we were supposed to debut a brand new swashbuckler spectacular yesterday. We already defeated the giant octopus in the No Stash after all. We were going to have a new nemesis, Red Stash. He's on the flyer. And that is correct. As you can see right here, there's a Red Stash, the red scarf. For a second, I thought, never mind. Oh, that's a fire rifle was distributing. Who obtained the gold coins hidden in the skull rock? Oh, I wish it could be me. Leave it to you, Athena, to know all about it. Oh, let's see if we got some new tricks for the new show. Swashbuckler Flyer updated the court record. Water. Stupid cough. Nah. That's what happens when you get old, ladies and gentlemen. An advertisement for a new show was dropped by a penguin. So all the stuff that fell down was for the new show. Is that it? That's right! A bunch of props and crates and other equipment stacked up! Your Honor, for the record, I'd like that information added to the witness's testimony. Very well. Miss Buckler, please append that what you said to your testimony. Sure thing! The props for the new show were everywhere, and the captain was in the middle of it all.
Hold it!
These props for the new show, what kind of things were they? A blob dolphin and an anchor, Red Stash's costume, the bag of coins, stuff like that. The captain was wearing his usual costume, and the new props were all there. What a minute? Jeez, like the quality of the translations for the DLC really tank compared to the main game. What? I'm gonna read it as is though. What a minute. Something about that doesn't seem right. Is there a problem with Sasha's testimony? Yes, there is. You say the captain was wearing his usual costume, but is that completely accurate? Let's see here, actually. Details. He's got a red scarf. Hold on, let me see something real quick. He's wearing the red scarf. Let me see the recording. Oh, no, he's wearing a white. Okay. Come on, Phoenix. What are you nitpicking my testimony for? If we look at the body, we see that there's a discrepancy between that and your statement. You stated that the victim was wearing his usual costume, but you'll notice that the victim was wearing a red scarf around his neck. I imagine this red scarf is part of his costume for the new pirate show. Oh, you're right. It's written right here in the flyer for the new show. Featuring the dashing red stash with a fluttering red scarf. Although, I have to say, it just looks like a red scarf was added to his old costume. Yeah, well, the captain was never one to spend much money on costumes. But, you know, the captain wasn't wearing the red scarf. What are you talking about? But in this photo, I believe I see a red scarf. Yeah, but it's not wrapped around his neck. It's just dropped on top of his neck. The red scarf was packed away with the rest of the new show's equipment. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not really wrapped around. That's true. And he's wearing a white one there. Interesting. The red scarf was packed away with the rest of the new show's equipment. It must have fallen on top of the captain when the equipment fell down. Oh, I see. It looks like your discrepancy wasn't really a discrepancy after all. So the scarf doesn't have anything to do with the case? But there's something about the timing of the stuff falling that bothers me. Hold on. The timing of the stuff falling. The timing. Maybe. My theory has been all wrong from the beginning. Maybe. The bag of coins isn't the murder weapon. And so your last cross-examination ends in failure as well. You should know that such a feeble slash will never hurt me. As I said, the orca made the equipment fall and they toyed with the body in the water. By the way, I got a comment last episode from Sir Garconius. He's like, wow, your Blackwell accent is terrible. He sounds like a drunk cockney. You know what? That was done on purpose, okay? Just because allow me to I just gather my thoughts here. Okay, he wasn't supposed to sound like standard English, okay? I didn't want that. Because, you know, this is also true in the US as well, but in the UK especially, because, the UK is, for such a small island country, it has, 8 trillion different accents. It boggles my mind. Accents in the UK denote class. You know, the higher up on the food chain you are, the more likely you're going to sound like, you know, your quote-unquote Harry Potters, you know, your... I don't want to say Hollywood, because Hollywood's the U.S., but, you know, your, London, your fancy London accents, whereas if you're lower on the food chain, if you're lower in the economic status, you tend to have a more regionalized accent. This is true in the U.S. as well. You notice that, you know, people who are younger than 30, that they're from, Boston or New York or, the South or anything, they don't actually talk they don't have, those stereotypical accents. It's just one of those things. Because regional accents seem to be dying out. But, I did that because, I wanted to denote, he was, some rough and tough person who grew up on the streets. And, I also added a little bit of, you know, over-exaggerated 1970s Cockney accent to it a little bit just to make it a bit more stylized. So, yes, I know that it's not, 100%, blah, but whatever, who cares? And I said, the orca made the equipment fall and then toyed the body in the water.
Objection!
I'm sorry, Prosecutor Blackwell, but based on the circumstances at the scene, the defendant couldn't have dragged the body into the water after the equipment fell. And why, pray tell, is that? Oh, I'll tell you all right. If my theory has been all wrong, then I'll just have to fix it. Yes, Mr. Wright, please do tell the court. What indicates that the body was not dragged into the water after the items fell? Well, it should be the scarf, obviously, right? Right?
Take that!
This red scarf fell at the same time as the bag of coins. But if the body was dragged into the pool after the bag of coins fell, then the red scarf wouldn't still be on top of the body. What? In other words, the victim was already dead when the equipment came crashing down. Therefore, the bag of coins that fell with the red scarf was not the murder weapon.
Silence!
I love how he said that as soon as the music started, but it was the defense who claimed the bag of coins as the murder weapon to begin with. Well, yes, that's true. Do you intend to abandon your original argument? After hearing the testimony, I realized my theory about the murder weapon was wrong. Please recall the facts we have learned so far. It's the fact that what Orla bit was the victim's dead body. After all, when we saw the victim on the security footage, he was already dead. But then, Orla carried the victim's body to the side of the pool, and knocked down the equipment for the new pirate show that was piled up there. Maybe Orla was trying to alert the humans to the victim's condition. Ergo, if Orla knocked the items down on the victim after he was already dead, then it means the defendant didn't kill the victim with those items. But that's preposterous! Even still, your argument is lacking. If neither the orca's headbutting nor the bag of coins were the manner of death, then how do you propose the victim was killed? Ah! A very good point. The defense is now abandoning its original theory. Then we would need a new theory as to what the murder weapon was. Alright. I have no clue it go over well. Oh, right, let's go over what we still need to find out about the victim's body! Are we gonna do, like, the head zoomy thing right now? Probably not. We're not that close to the end of the case. What we don't know is how he died and why his body was at the bottom of the pool. I wonder if there's something that would explain both of those things at once. How he died and why his body was at the bottom of the pool. Okay. How did the victim's body sink to the bottom of the pool? On a diagram, it's easy enough to move the body to the bottom of the pool. But in real life, the water would just cause the body to float. I was about to say dead pirates don't tell tales, but yeah, that doesn't make sense compared to this. In context of this, I should say. Right. Hold on. Water? Okay, then what if we flip that around? What if there was no water? Then the body would go right down in an instant. Okay, well if that's the case, then where was Orla during all this? So could the real manner of death be? You aren't saying... Huh. Then again, like, Orla is a mammal, so she could technically breathe without water. She would just, like, you know... Thanks for the great hint, Athena. What? I helped you and I didn't even know it? Your Honor, I think we know the real manner of the victim's death. I think won't do, Mr. Wright. I expect a clear answer. Now then, what was the real manner of Jack Shipley's death? What's the manner of death that moved the victim to the bottom of the pool in an instant? It wouldn't be an instant, because, you know, technically, bodies, everything all things fall at 9.8 meters per second squared. Didn't you take Phoenix? Did you take physics, Phoenix? 9.8 meters per second squared. We also have to count for air resistance, of course. Anyway. Falling. Please take a look at this diagram of the orca pool. If there is no water in this pool, then it would be very easy to move the victim's body to the bottom of the pool. The joke is that it's technically not an instant, it's a little more than an instant, okay? I'm just being really nitpicky. He would drop straight down? Oh my, could that be the true manner of death? The orca pool is about 65 feet deep. Although, actually, though, 9.8 meters per second squared, you would reach the bottom in, like, no time. Like, you'd reach that in no time. But still. If the victim were to go from the top of the pool to the bottom when there was no water, then he would, without question, have fallen to his death. Death from a fall! And that's your answer. It all makes perfect sense! No, it doesn't. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. If he fell, then that would explain the signs of blood force trauma all over the body, too. The culprit pushed the victim to the pool when there was no water in it. You know what I want to do? Like, I want to, like, commit a crime in, like, real life, and then, like, refuse to have a lawyer, and then defend myself, and then pretend like it's, like, Ace Attorney and see how far I can get. Of course, if I committed a crime, I wouldn't be innocent, in which case... Okay, I didn't really think that one ahead, did I? Oh well. The culprit pushed the victim into the pool when there was no water in it. After doing something to keep the body from floating up, they filled the pool with water. The pool water washed away all signs of blood, so no one would realize that he fell. Surprisingly, that actually makes sense. Silence, come on, Blackwell, silence. Silence. Order in the court. I'm just as surprised as you are, but I must have order. If falling was the manner of death, then does that mean the defendant's behavior was the result of being manipulated by the true culprit as the defense claimed? Yes, it would have to be. All that needs to be explained now is how the real culprit commanded Orla. Miss Buckler, is there a way to instruct Orla to bite someone? What? What kind of trick would that be? Of course not! Do I need to, well, in that case, he didn't bite, he didn't, in the, whatchamacallit, he didn't bite, Shipley. She didn't bite Shipley, she just headbutted him. Then could you tell us about the tricks Orla does know? Well, there's jumping, dancing, and playing volleyball. And she can spin, do the rock and roll trick, and sing the Swashbuckler Spectacular song. Those sound like pretty nice tricks, but I doubt they're related to this case. She's also practicing 2 new top-secret tricks. There's the human rocket, where she shoots somebody up into the air. And then there's the lifesaver trick, where she brings a drowning person to the surface. Why didn't you bring this up at the beginning? Seriously? Hey, one of these top-secret tricks might have something to do with the case. Oh, wow, you must be a real nice detective there, Phoenix. Now, which of these 2 tricks sounds relevant to the case? So in the lifesaver trick, Orla brings a drowning person to the surface, correct? You caught it! Shut up. Orla's still learning how to hold someone gently in her mouth. So she sometimes bites into their clothes, but she never hurts a person's skin. She's never hurt a person's skin. Water. I can't wait for this cough to be gone. She brings a drowning person to the surface, that must be it! And then the killer whale swam up toward the surface with the victim in its mouth. That matches up perfectly with what Mr. Plume said in her testimony. The real culprit must have used the lifesaver trick command to manipulate Orla. I still find this very hard to believe. Then let's see it for ourselves. Let's have Orla show us her trick using a practice dummy. As you wish. The prosecution doesn't appear to have any objection. Miss Buckler, please proceed. Okay, sure. I'll show you Orla's phenomenal trick. Hey, Marlon, are you ready over there? Okay, let me just go get the practice dummy. There. It's in the pool. Ready and standing by, Sasha. Here goes Orla's secret new trick, the lifesaver. The clothes got torn up a little, but the dummy doesn't have any new marks on it. Awkward pause, see you guys in the next episode.